Yo, I don't actually know if this is gonna work. We'll see. Yes, there are definitely people sitting in this car park around me thinking, why the fuck is this woman talking to her phone? But fuck them. Okay. I'm probably gonna share this to my wider audience as well, like put it up on YouTube and stuff. But I wanted to deliver it in here live because it just felt like I was feeling it's like, where do I want to deliver this message? Do I want to do Instagram live? Do I want to do Facebook live? Like, where does it want to go? And it wanted to come in here live, and then I can share it elsewhere if I feel to. I wanted to just, you can probably hear the wind is fucking crazy here. Let me just see if I can show you the view. That's the sea, just over that wall. And I'm about to go to the gym, but I was driving down the hill and I just had this like, oh my God, this moment of, it's not really duality, maybe it is, more of aware of it, like a triggered response that has just been tickling away in the background in my body, and like a higher state of consciousness version of me that's also like the watcher on the wall of what's occurring in my body, and kind of seeing these two, being aware of these two frequencies active in the body. And one of them was the triggered state, nothing serious, nothing big, just this, you know, as I said to you many times, triggered states can be so small that we would often just call them like a mild irritant or a frustration and not necessarily give them the respect or the time and energy and focus that they deserve. And we don't always have time. Okay, I know that you don't always have time in your everyday life when you're buzzing around, you're doing things, and you know, there's lots of things, busy, living your life. Don't always make the time or the space to really honor those smaller triggers, those irritants, those little like grains of sand in the shoe that are just like, well, yeah, but I can live with that. I can keep moving, I can keep living, I can keep being me regardless of that little grain of sand. But then eventually the grain of sand starts to chafe away at the skin and it gets more tender in there, and what, even though it might still be only a grain of sand, because of the irritation it's caused, because of like the grazing of the skin and the continual like friction against the skin, maybe it gets sore and it gets tender, and maybe it cuts the skin and you start to feel it more, and it becomes this bigger thing, and suddenly you've got a gangrenous toe, you know. So it's like, when we can find ways of giving ourselves and honoring ourselves and the little grains of sand, those mild irritants, those smaller triggers, when we can honor those with the same kind of, I want to say reverence, though I don't want to encourage massive processing where that doesn't need to happen. I feel that you guys will understand what the message I'm conveying here, which is simply that when we nip things in the bud, and we, rather than bypassing those smaller triggers, when we really allow ourselves to sit with them, be with them, move them, it takes often a lot less energy and time. We don't realize often when we have these little mild irritants and these things, it's almost like the more I clean up my field, let's put it this way, the more I clean up my field, the more I detox myself of external power leaks or things around me that could pollute my thoughts, my energetic field, my emotional field, the more I clear up my life and my 5 bodies around that, and allow myself to have a clearer and clearer channel in the mental, physical, energetic, spiritual, and was it physical, energetic, mental, emotional, and spiritual, the more I clean up my fields in all of these areas, the more aware I become of the smallest things, the little grains of sand, those tiny little irritants, rather than, hi Gabriella, rather than always needing a boulder to smack me in the face. I'm so attuned to how my body feels and how I feel energetically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, how I feel when I'm in my highest and best alignment for myself and for the world around me. Let's be honest, I am so in tune with what that good, juicy, delicious, clean, sparkly, yummy, delicious energy feels like, that even the tiniest little irritant, grain of sand, the tiniest little pollutant in my mind, in any of my fields, I'm so aware of them now because I have like this heightened sensitivity to them. And here's the thing, our body and our mind and our emotional body, we want to, on all levels, protect ourselves from pain, from being hurt. We also want to protect ourselves from being slowed down by things, external things. So often what we can do is we can create these defense and protection mechanisms where we build walls around our heart, or we build systems in place in our life where we maybe shut ourselves away from the world, we cut people out of our lives, we don't even want to have the difficult conversations that might need to be had because we're like, ugh, no, that's going to drain me and I don't want to be drained. I only ever want to feel good. I only ever want to feel clean and sparkly and shiny. But the thing is, if we don't deal with it, if we don't allow ourselves the presence of mind and the embodiment to notice when things are slightly out of alignment and address them in that moment, if we don't give ourselves the gift of dealing with that little irritant there and then, that little thing will grow and it will become this fucking gangrenous limb that we have to hack off, and that's going to be way more traumatizing and way more of an energy drain than if we just sat the fuck down, stilled our mind, got into our body and went, right, what the fuck is going on with me today? And one of the things that I noticed coming up for me is when I noticed there was this minor little grain of sand, this minor irritant, this tiny little trigger in me this morning, you know, it was really not, like, it was, in the grand scheme of life, absolutely fucking nothing. In fact, it could be seen, and this is the fucked up thing, is that it could actually be seen as a good thing. But my mind and my body did its little Venus flytrap, like, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna fucking punish you from the inside with this bitch. It's gonna grow spikes. I'm gonna turn this into a cactus and it's gonna fuck you up all the way through your system until you poop it out. And I was just like, ugh. And I like, this feels so painful. Why does this feel so painful? It's not a big deal. Like, I don't understand how, even though I could see the flip side and I could see I could see logically, and a part of my heart could feel the beauty in this interaction, and yet my entire system, apart from these like two little tiny little pieces going, but this could be a good thing, the rest of my system was going, ah, and like so angry and irritated, like, what the fuck is wrong with me? It's so funny. It's so funny. Like, I am able to laugh at myself because though I believe these little irritants that we create within are, you know, that we can honor them with the reverence of our presence and our intention to move through them and understand them. I'm also able to always be deeply irreverent about these things because I understand that in the grand scheme of life, nothing really means anything. Like, we are fucking skeletons in a skin suit. We have this amazing spark of consciousness that like animates us, and we're here on this planet for a really fucking short space of time. And a lot of this stuff isn't fucking worth the energy that we allow it to drain. But for some fucking reason, you gotta say, so what was it you gotta say? She said, no, you're not irritated at all. Oh my god, it was something in my personal life, so I don't feel to share it because it was something like this literally in my personal life and has nothing to do with anyone other than me and someone in my personal life. And so this is what I mean. It's like this like, it's so tiny, it's so fucking tiny. That's why I'm laughing about it. But no, it's not irritating that you asked at all, but I'm still not gonna answer. I'm the irritant now. But it's so, and it's fascinating to me because of course that tiny little grain of sand then allows me to have the self-reflection and understand where I'm allowing small things to create a much bigger ripple effect in my life, have a bigger impact than they really need to have. And on the flip side of that, where am I not honoring the tiny little things? If we're looking at, you know, if we're giving things scale, Where am I not honoring the tiny little things that are so fucking good and so beautiful? Like this moment right now where you're on with me live and it's just the two of us and we're having this conversation. Like, you've been in my world now for how long, right? We're in a group of however many people right now and it's just you and me here. Like, how cool is that? You know, that's a heart-opening moment. If I choose to allow that to be the fact that you jumped on live and you chose to spend this time with me and you have no idea what I'm going to talk about, yet you're here and you're engaging with me, and then the people who then go on to watch this after it went, like, what a fucking gift, man. And it would be so easy, right, for me to just bypass all of the small beautiful things and not allow them to build momentum. I'm getting all hot now. Not allow them to gather momentum in my life and instead focus on these tiny little irritants that really are nothing. They're really nothing. So it's the flip side of that coin, you know. If I can't find things to be grateful for because I'm so sucked into this moment of irritation and allowing that to grow and grow and grow and grow, if I'm unable because I'm in like that negative momentum, right, my horse is galloping at a pace in that direction and I can't like pull the reins because it's just like it's galloping that way and I kind of got to wait for it to like run out of steam a little bit, you know? So I like let that gather momentum until it runs out of steam enough that I then come on live. I feel inspired to go live. I start having a conversation, and what's naturally happened is I've gone from a space of deep irritation and frustration and like chewing myself up from the inside, trying to figure everything out with my mind, to be like, why am I so irritated? Why is this affecting me? And I've used that energy and momentum. I've allowed my sacral to guide me to do this live stream in the car park next to my gym because I want to go and train, right? And I've allowed it to like guide me into this live stream, which has guided me to this interaction, which has guided me into a place of being on like a positive rampage. And before doing this live stream, I hadn't even considered the flip side of the coin. In that moment where you saw me realizing that, that was real. That wasn't like pre-planned. It was because I followed my sacral nudge to come on, to go live, to share the message through this throat motor of mine. Brrr, what's going to come out? Let's see. And then we end up with this amplified message of that really all comes back to honoring the grain of sand. But if you're going to honor the grain of sand that is an irritant and give that your attention, can you also flip the coin over and give the other smaller things in your life, the things that maybe you would just overlook and carry on with your day because you weren't present with them, because you allowed the irritant to pull you out of yourself, so far out of your alignment, so far out of your body, into your head, maybe even out of your head into like up here where you don't even realize your fucking body exists anymore. Where are you doing that to yourself? Because you're doing that to yourself. No one else is doing that. We're doing it to ourselves. So really, one of the reasons that we don't want to be present with the body very often is because when we are present with the body, we will feel our triggers. We will really feel them, and we will feel them deeply. And the more, as I said at the beginning, the more clean and clear my channel is, and the more I prioritize feeling good and having a squeaky clean frequency internally, the more I prioritize that in my life and I remove things that don't align with that, the easier it is for me to spot the little irritants. And sometimes I'm able to just go, oh, there's an irritant. What's that? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, no, that's nothing. And I'm able to get rid of it. And other times I will Venus flytrap it. And when I looked at, I was kind of getting up in my head and giving myself a little bit of shit around, why can't I just let this go? And my boyfriend actually said, he's like, let it go. Like, why can't you just let, like, we were laughing. I was laughing with him about it. I was like, why has this annoyed me so much? And he was laughing. He was like, Nolly, just let it go. And I was like, I can't let it go though. Why can't I fucking let this go? And we were laughing about it in the kitchen, right? It's just like, it was so small that I was even able to laugh with him about it, you know? And so this just goes to show that when you have this heightened level of awareness, you are able to laugh at the things that a lot of people would be like, I'm so enraged about this. But also, gosh, it looks so beautiful out there. The way that the sun, let me just show you real quick again, the way that the sun's reflecting on the water over there. I don't know if you can really see it, but it's like amazing. That's the beach over there, and like the way you can't really see it in the camera, but the sun is like reflecting on the water, and it just looks like, this is God. Not that I'm religious, but the word God comes through sometimes. So, yes, exactly. It's the contrast, right? Abraham Hicks vibes. We invite in the contrast so that we can truly and deeply, deliciously experience transitioning from the contrast into the receptivity of the manifestation, into the positive, into, as you say, like going from that salty, spicy, like prickliness into the delicious sweetness and yumminess. We need all of the flavors to make up the Neapolitan ice cream of life. So, God, I used to love that ice cream as a kid. Anyway, coming back into what originally came through around all of this, as I was driving down the hill to the gym just before, I just realized that there is so much energy around right now with this full moon. Whether you're watching this on the full moon or whether you're watching this like years in advance, like, or years after it's happened, you've been called here to this message for a reason. But particularly today, on this day right now, and in this week, as we're in this full moon energy, in this eclipse energy, just really notice where old stories, old patterns, old triggers are coming up. And one of the reasons I was so irritated, I understood as I sat with the feeling, one of the reasons I was so irritated by myself, by this trigger and this situation, was I thought I fucking dealt with that. Why is this coming up again? I'm never going to get further. I'm never going to move forward. I'm never going to grow as a person in this area if I continue to let this fucking trigger me. If I continue to protect myself from feeling this trigger all the time. Like, why can't I just blah, 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 blah. Why am I not over this yet? Why am I not past this yet? And of course, that's just like the ego being like, well, you're stuck, just stop trying to grow, stop trying to move, stop trying to evolve. Like, yeah, you are stuck, bitch. So just fucking give up. Yeah. Just get back into bed, pull the duvet over your head and tell the world to fuck off and just melt away. just forget it all till you dissolve into the bed and you are long forgotten. You know, it's like, it's the ego wanting to hold me back because it can feel that I am on the cusp of something huge, can feel that the power of this eclipse can transmute and transform and expand us in ways that we have been asking for, maybe since the beginning of the year, maybe since April, maybe since years before this. Remember, everything that we have experienced up to this moment has been preparing us for this moment. Everything we're experiencing right now is preparing us for what is going to come. So we are constantly in this evolution. We are constantly in evolution. It is impossible not to grow. It's like we try so hard to grow. We try so hard to expand and evolve. And we're like, what can I do? What can I do to push forward, to expand? What else do I need in order to grow? And it's like your natural state is growth. When you remember that you are growing, you are aging. You are getting older, and as you get older, you are getting wiser. Your body is accumulating more wisdom, more knowledge. And it's really only if we allow those things to become like tangled sinews and mess, and we like trap the trauma in our body and let our world get small, if we actively pull ourselves into contraction, that is the only way that we will kind of halt our growth. But here's the thing, even if you tried your fucking hardest not to grow, you would still be growing. It is impossible for you to stop growing. You cannot stop growing. So when you absorb that as a truth, when you remember that your cells are continually renewing in your body, that you are releasing chemicals and hormones and things are changing and evolving and you are growing and you are aging and you are getting wiser on all levels, you have access to that wisdom now. You have access to the wisdom that it is going to take to get you to where you want to go next. You have it now, inside of you, right now. You are the person in this fucking moment that becomes the person, that becomes the person, that becomes the person. And this person you are right now is who you wanted to be at some point. It is impossible for you to stagnate, because the nature of being a living organism is that we are growing, we are always changing. So when you acknowledge that as a truth in your body, allow yourself to feel a sense of relief and maybe let yourself off the hook a little bit for feeling that you need to do more in order to evolve. We can get caught up in the I need to fix this, I need to solve this, I need to understand this, I need to unpick this, I need to unpack this, I need to process this. And sometimes, yes, you do. But only when it feels like your body is saying to you, is pulling you towards it, like, we need to plunge into the depths of this. And sometimes that will show up as resistance. It will show up as, I don't want to look at that thing. And then you know, okay, so now I get to open my heart and let that in and really lean into it and evolve through this thing. But there are other times where you are literally just telling yourself there is something else you have to do. You're putting steps. I talk about this all the time, right? You're putting steps in the way. You're creating this imaginary ladder that you have to climb, and there are rungs that you have to, when you could actually just go, I want to be at the top of the ladder. Oh, I'm at the top of the ladder. I just decided and now I'm there. Okay, cool. So now what? So it gets to be easier, and it also gets to be deeper. And it's entirely up to you. But if you are choosing to remain stagnant, you are choosing it. And actually, that's okay. If you're feeling stagnant right now, can you accept that you're choosing the stagnation and that there's probably a reason why you're choosing it? And if you're really honest with yourself and you stopped saying, oh, I just can't seem to move, I'm just really stagnant, and I don't know what to do, and gosh, so stagnant, everything's just stagnating right now, everything's so blocked, I feel so stuck. If you're telling yourself these things, then yes, of course you are, because you're perpetuating it with your words. And also, maybe you are. And if you can acknowledge that you're choosing it, how does that re-empower you to just be like, do you know what? I'm fucking choosing it. Great, I'm gonna choose this. In the same way that maybe you choose to eat some cake, or you choose to like binge watch Netflix, or whatever it is that you do, right? If you can actively choose it, it takes away the shame, it takes away the guilt, the embarrassment, takes away all of these bullshit emotions that we attach to stuff that cause us pain, that make us think bad things about ourselves, that perpetuate negative self-belief, negative self-image and identity pieces that we don't actually need anymore. If you're feeling stagnant, if you could admit that you're choosing it and understand why you're choosing it, maybe because you need a rest, maybe because you keep trying to push forward on something that actually is no longer aligned for you, so your body keeps stagnating you, the universe keeps stagnating, you think, oh, I'm going to run down this path, and then you keep hitting brick walls, or like, oh, there's no clear path forward from here. Maybe this is actually all calling you to come back to yourself and to use the wisdom of this lunar eclipse to actually really begin to allow yourself to just unearth what it is that needs to be changed, unearth what it is that needs to be more deeply nourished inside of you. What parts of yourself are you yet to make friends with that you are actually going to need to love and accept in order to move to that next level, to take the next step, to become the next version of yourself, truly in an embodied way. All of these pieces are being shown to us right now. And if you choose to feel whatever is moving through you, and you choose to look at it through the eyes of someone who accepts that they are always growing, they're never stagnant, they are always choosing what's showing up in their reality. If you can put that mindset on and look at things through that lens, it will change your fucking life. So there you go. You're welcome. I am going to share this content in other places as well, as I said at the beginning of this live stream, but I just wanted to come on and give you guys the opportunity to see it first, or to be here live if you were around. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me just check these comments real quick. Yes, out body experience. Yeah. It's so beautiful. The gift of being a 6-line, am I right? Being able to be so deeply in our own bullshit whilst kind of like laughing at ourselves from on the roof, like, what a pickle I have myself in right now. What a pickle my human's in. I wonder when she'll figure out that it's all okay. Okay, thank you so much for being here live, and if you watch the replay, I'm looking forward to reading your comments. And if you're watching this on YouTube or on Instagram or wherever else I decide to publish this video, then I hope it was a salve for your soul. Many thanks. I love you. Goodbye.